5. It's your boy JT Thunder.
And the stash, baby. Woo!
All
Bringing it
righty, yes,
again.
sir. So, for our first segment of the day, we're gonna go ahead and jump into San Francisco, the Bay Area. So, Trey Lance, what do you think his future is in San Francisco?
I
What's it
think
looking like?
I think Trey Lance is looking good in training camp. He had a little decent scrimmage play in the preseason. Um, his future, I think it'll depend a lot on if Brock Purdy comes back, and when he does,
Mhm.
how he plays. So I think it's gonna be a little QB battle when Brock Purdy's back because Brock played really well last year.
What about Sam Darnold, bro? Got that sneaky athleticism.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't just say that. Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is the number 15 best quarterback in the league. He's either better or worse. No. That's a different guy. Never mind. That's not Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is far worse. Sam Darnold's like
Yeah.
top 20, like as in like the 27, 28, 29, somewhere in there.
I mean, Trey Lance, he's got good potential. He's yet to show it on the field, so we'll see. He's got a good training camp going so far for him, but last year he looked awful. So, I mean, if he doesn't start at this point sometime this year, San Francisco's got to move on from him. I feel like Brock Purdy is their future.
I'll agree with that. I think Brock Purdy's the future.
Oh yeah.
Hey Trey Lance, listen. There's really nice weather in Tampa. We could use a QB. I'm just saying.
You advocating for him?
Yeah, give me Trey Lance and Jonathan Taylor. Come on.
Okay, buddy. Yeah, well, form the Avengers down there in Tampa.
We got to.
Yeah. So, have you heard the news about Kareem Hunt?
Well, no,
Sorry.
JT. What about you, Kareem Hunt?
So he almost signed with the Saints the other day, but he had a visit with them and then left without a deal. He went to
Ooh.
Indianapolis without a deal. And today on Friday, he had a meeting with Minnesota Vikings. So, what do you think about this situation with Kareem Hunt?
That's interesting. Either he's wanting too much money, or I'm guessing that's the problem. Like they're either willing not to give him enough money for him to come there, or he's just because that's 3 teams. That's three. There are 2 teams in the league, not including the one that he was just on, which is the Browns. So it's 4 teams eliminated. You're starting to run out of teams that want you, that or needs you.
I mean, the running back market itself is diminishing greatly over the past even 2 to 3 years. So, I feel like the teams are just running through running backs so much now to the point where if you got a good deal on the table as a running back in the league, you got to take it because you don't know next year what your value is going to be. So if I'm Kareem Hunt, I would go to a contender that I could make a decent salary with. So at the end of the day, I would probably go with either New Orleans or Minnesota. I don't know if I would go to Indy just for the fact that Jonathan Taylor is going to take up the majority of those snaps. Even though it would be a nasty backfield with him and JT, I would not go there. But he's already had that kind of experience in Cleveland, so I don't know if he's wanting to be like workhorse back, that he can kind of like cement himself as a RB1, or if he's wanting to just contribute as like a what he did in Cleveland. So we'll see. But alrighty, so we'll move on from that. Have you heard about Colin Cowherd's remarks about Dwayne Haskins? Going on to a more serious note here. So he went on to say he named 20 quarterbacks that he said that will never win a championship in the league. He had Dwayne Haskins on there, who tragically passed away last year. That rubbed me the wrong way, bro. I don't know why he mentioned his name in that, but very disrespectful. I don't know why. Don't know why Fox Sports allowed that to even air, but that was really weird.
That's really interesting. I don't understand what he was exactly like. He was talking about quarterbacks that didn't win a ring last year.
Just in the future, he was
Oh,
saying like, yeah,
oh,
these
okay.
quarterbacks are not going to win a ring, and he had like all these busts on there with a few other guys that were mediocre, but he had Dwayne Haskins on that list, and I was like, yeah, why would you even go there?
That's
So
really interesting that he did that.
yeah, pretty disrespectful. So
Very, yeah, that sounds very disrespectful.
no doubt. So I've lost some respect for him in that regard. But um, what's your biggest sleeper for this year's receivers upcoming? If you had to pick one.
Okay, JT, hear me out here. All right, I'm not trying to sound biased.
Okay.
Chris Godwin.
All
Chris
right.
Godwin.
Want some hometown love, I see.
Listen. Chris Godwin looks excellent in preseason. He got a touchdown. I mean, and then in training camp, he's back to the speed he had before the ACL tear. He
Yeah.
came off of. He wasn't the same last year, but he feels better. He said this year he feels like he did when he was catching all those catches, getting the touchdowns. I'm telling you, I think Godwin is going to put up numbers, and they're talking about like keeping him out of the slot. They're actually going to put him as a true number two instead of like Evans as the one, and they had like Brown and then Julio as that two, and God was like the slot receiver on
Yeah.
most of it.
I mean,
So
yeah, people forget how good Chris Godwin is. I mean, he was putting up 1,000 yard season, so uh, he's a good wide receiver if he can stay healthy. That's the main question. So, and the main, honestly, a bigger question is who's going to be under center week one. If you got Baker Mayfield out there throwing double-digit interceptions a game,
ooh, double digit interceptions a game. Ooh, that's 10, bro. That's 10 interceptions. I
yeah,
don't want to deal with that.
yeah, he's going to throw like 10, 11 picks a game, bro. No, I'm over exaggerating, but yeah, honestly, he's led the league in interceptions since he's came in. So, I mean, you're not going to get extreme value with Baker, but you could see some upside with Trask possibly. So we'll see what they got going on in Tampa.
Trask did have Tom Brady as his mentor, like while he was there, the one he was studying under, Tom Brady. I don't know. I don't know if people know this, but Tom Brady has seven. I repeat, seven Super Bowl rings. Okay,
I
he's the
think people
goat.
know that, but yeah,
If I can
he's
get a
got a
mini goat out of him, I'll take it.
he's had an all right career. If
Seven,
you
yeah,
would,
seven rings is it's okay. But
so moving on to my sleeper, my receiver that I think is gonna have underrated kind of sneaky year. That's gonna have a really great year in Denver. Jerry Judy. So, I'm gonna read off some stats for you real quick, Stash. So,
okay.
as a rookie, he had 113 targets. Only Justin Jefferson had more. So, in his year one, he had 856 yards on 3 touchdowns. Pretty good as a rookie coming in out of Alabama. Year two, a little underwhelming. He missed 7 games, though, with a lot of plaguing injuries. He had only 467 yards that year. His last season, he did not even hit 1,000 yards, but the offense was extremely underwhelming with Nathaniel Hackett as head coach. So you get Sean Payton in there. I mean, he's gonna give some magic to them boys in Denver. I think Jerry Judy's gonna have a breakout year. No one's talking about him. He's gonna have a sneaky underrated year in year four.
So I'm gonna add on to your point something I learned today, actually, JT. That you have a very good pick there. You know why? I've been hearing in training camp that Russ is looking like Russ,
I've heard that.
and
Seattle Rock too.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
but
you, man, I had them I picked them this year, 9 wins. I think it's a solid year, especially after last year. So they might even win more. They might be better.
I mean, they've got a top 10 defense to pair along a up and coming offense. So you maybe even more than 9 wins. You never know. So we'll see. But especially with Tim Patrick going down, he's going to have that number one receiver spot on Denver. Him and Cortland Sutton on the outside. So it's going to be a good year. Good year in Denver for sure.
Yeah, I think this year is going to be a really good year for Denver.
I agree.
So Bronco
So
fans, get ready to ride Broncos country.
part two, but it's not going to burn down this time. Yeah, got to make sure of that. So hypothetically, what if it does go downhill again? Do you think they move on from Russ after this
Oh,
year?
I told you last week, man. He's got a lot of pressure. He better be looking like Russ.
He does.
Super
I
Bowl
think
champ, Russ.
I think realistically though, they're gonna have a pretty good year. I think they've got some boys that can ball this year for them. But so moving on to fantasy football,
Woo!
you play a little bit of fantasy,
I'm not gonna lie, JT, a little bit. I play a little bit.
a little
I
bit
won my league a couple years ago. Won a championship belt
back
and
in that way.
$500 on top of it. I got to hold the belt for a
Oh,
year.
little bragging rights, I see. Okay. So if you had the first overall pick in fantasy, who would you be selecting right now?
First, ooh, Nick Chubb.
Ooh, a little
Nick Chubb.
spicy right
Nick
there.
Chubb. First pick. First pick.
Really?
You know he's
I
gonna get
like
you
it.
yards
I
every
mean,
game.
yeah, he doesn't really get used a lot in the backfield, like out of the backfield in the passing game, but he could get a lot of points on the ground for you.
You gotta remember, man. Alvin Kamara ain't there no more.
You mean Kareem Hunt?
Yeah, Kareem Hunt, not Alvin Kamara. I don't know
Yeah,
why I said Alvin Kamara.
yeah.
Kareem Hunt.
That is true. He doesn't have to split the backfield anymore, so we could see a really good fantasy campaign from Nick Chubb this season. So I think honestly, for the number one pick, you got to go either CMC
Okay.
or Justin Jefferson. I feel like
Either one
personally,
of
no
them would be
bias,
good too.
but I think one of those two would set you right.
If I'm gonna tell you, if I got the third pick, yeah. If I've got the third pick, I'm taking one of those three though. Like
Oh
if I
yeah,
got the
for
first,
sure.
second, or third, I'm taking one of those three. I'll probably take Jefferson second and then CMC third.
Yeah,
That's for me
that'd be
though.
ideal. That'd be a nice little 1-2 punch. Yeah. So, have you heard the news about? It's a little old news, but have you heard the news about Dane wanting to go to Miami?
Ooh,
What's
I
your thoughts?
did.
What's your
I've heard
thoughts on
about
the
that.
actual probability of him landing there?
40-60.
Okay.
I think 40% chance he does. I think it's more of a 60% chance they don't. I think the Blazers are going to want a lot for Dame,
That is true.
and Dame only wants to go to Miami if Jimmy and Bam stay. So it's gonna be hard to like manage all that. You're looking at a couple of years of draft picks, kind of sense.
Yeah, it would be one of those things where it's like you're gonna overcommit for a guy that how much of his prime are you really gonna have left? That's the biggest part.
I don't know if they really care about primes anymore. Like he's a good enough ball handler, and he's done a lot in Portland in the sense of like playing by himself, keeping it true.
Yeah.
So I think Dame leaving and having actual help for once, because like let's be real, like Dame's never had a whole lot of help.
Yeah.
So I can't sit here and tell you that Dame having help wouldn't increase their chances heavily of winning a ring. And maybe Pat Riley's thinking about that.
I mean, if there's anybody out there in the league that deserves a ring that's still actively playing, it's Damian Lillard for sure.
I got Dame high on that list. Of players who don't have rings, I got Dame high.
Oh yeah, I mean his loyalty to Portland, there's nobody that can criticize him for leaving because they have not helped him one bit in a move to, assert their dominance in the West. They've been played with
Portland
for so long.
Portland has
So
always been. Here's the thing about Portland. Portland for a lot. You got to look back, draft players, and they just get there's like injury prone all of a sudden. I think it would be good.
I mean, if they can retain Tyler Hero too, people forget he's a pretty good spot up shooter.
He was
So
not that good. He was not good as last year. He wasn't nearly as good as he was before.
I mean, in the bubble in
Yeah,
2020,
yeah.
he was spot on.
The season that doesn't count.
Man,
I hate on the bubble. I think it's dumb. I actually think they should. I was actually like thinking they should just end the season there and just call it no champ. Just call it continue on next year. That was how I looked at it. I was fine with it.
people in the comments gonna roast you for that one. But
What you could have had everyone recovered. Everyone had plenty of off time to recover from injuries and everything. Everyone could have came back healthy. Just
I
saying.
guess so. Yeah. All right. Next topic.
Ooh.
So, have you heard about Breon Bryan Burks, aka Big Bubba, the 455-pound freshman TCU football thoughts? Big boy. Big boy.
Big. Yeah, he definitely big. I'm excited. I saw some of the highlights for him, and he is a blocking machine.
Oh yeah, he's just pancaking guys
He,
over and over. I mean, he's just taking up space, bro.
it made me think of that scene in The Blind Side where he
Yeah.
blocked him into
Taking
just
it
all the
all the
way.
way to the butt, coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
that part was pretty interesting. I mean, now
hey,
he's at TCU.
yeah, I think their plan get a guy like that in the weight room for a year, get him conditioned down to about 370, 380, at least 380. You're gonna have a force on your team, whether they move him to guard or whatever position they want him at. But you're gonna have a dog on that O line if he's able to hold up, like cardio wise. I'm sure he'll be able to play TCU football for years to come. So he'll be a good player. I'm hoping he does well for them. But so
Big boy. Like
will will the Georgia Bulldogs repeat as national champs next season in college football?
JT, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they are. Their team is still spectacular. Stetson Bennett was not like a huge loss. Like he's good. Like he's a good quarterback. Like I'm not like shitting all over Stetson Bennett. Like it's fine. Like he did a good job when he was in Georgia. But
A
he
lot of
wasn't
talent
like
around them boys
yeah.
for
I mean he's
sure.
got so much talent.
Oh yeah.
I could have. I mean I could have probably thrown a
Just
couple
quit throwing it at
touchdowns.
them boys. Yeah. Little
No, but
triple.
and they didn't. They lost some pieces in the draft, but like I think their backups were just as good. So I don't think they're really losing a whole lot of
I mean,
talent.
they're loading up with talent every year. So, but I disagree, bro. I think that repeating is hard enough itself.
Yeah, it's
So
hard.
three-peating back to back to back, I don't see it happening. I think there's going to be kind of an underrated team win it this year. It may be USC because Caleb Williams. I mean,
Okay.
come up,
You
coming off the Heisman Trophy. So,
you think that USC can handle the boys in the South?
oh no, I don't think they'll be able to hang. But hey, I'm just saying that they got that boy Caleb Williams out there. So anything can happen.
I'm curious to see where how he plays this year because I'm really like excited to see where he goes in the draft.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, he'll be the number one pick. It's locked in right now. I feel like,
Who's getting? But it depends. Like imagine the Texans lose
bro.
every game this year. You think
They
they're
got
drafting Caleb Williams?
no. I mean, they just drafted CJ. So
Exactly.
yeah. I mean, we'll see how the chips fall. But I think honestly, um, Bama could possibly upset Georgia if they make it to the SEC championship and face each other. An underrated team in the SEC this year is going to be LSU, getting JT Daniels back at quarterback. So I think he's going to be really, really good for that LSU team this year. I mean, last year he produced at a high level. They only lost 2 games, and they made it to the SEC championship game.
Who did they
So
lose to?
Georgia.
Yep, that's what I thought.
So
them, them
we'll
dogs
see.
just built different.
They are. I mean, it's hard to beat them when they reload with so much talent every year. But I'm telling you, bro, they're not going to be repeating this year
Hear
because
me
it's
out real
hard to
quick
do
for
it.
you. Hear me out. All right. Imagine last year's Georgia Bulldogs going against Joe Burrow's LSU.
Ooh,
Woo.
that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta give the edge to them boys in LSU though.
LSU. All right, I got another one for you. Then you want
Team
to
was
you want to
different. What is
compare
that
some
team?
teams? I got some teams for you.
'Cause that was the best offense in college history.
You think so?
I feel. Oh yeah.
LSU with Joe Burrow versus Tim Tebow and them Gators.
Mm. I gotta give
Percy
it to Tebow.
Harvin.
I got to give it to Tebow just for the fact that Gators defense was a lot better than that LSU defense. Overall, that LSU offense was better. I feel like than Florida's offense, just because I mean, the receivers you got Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I mean, them boys been going crazy. But I don't know, man. I think it'd be really close for sure. You could go either way with that, probably, but I'd give the slight edge to Florida just because of their defense, but LSU's offense was better. So, last segment of the day, ladies and gents. Will Tennessee, the Volunteers, beat Georgia and or Alabama? What's your thoughts?
I got my picks right here for you. Tennessee loses to Georgia. I've got Georgia going undefeated,
Even at home in
even
Neyland.
even at home. Neyland is a crazy crowd. Don't get me wrong. It is one of the worst places to play against Tennessee is at home. That stadium, that crowd is different. Okay, but I got Georgia going undefeated, winning for a three-peat this year.
I don't see it, bro.
I don't see them losing. I got Tennessee beating Bama again this year though.
I don't. Okay. You think Tennessee beats Bama this year?
I think Tennessee beats Bama, but I don't think they get past Georgia.
Okay. I think Tennessee loses a close one to Georgia in Neyland. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it'll be within 1 to 2 touchdowns. But I think they'll ultimately lose. But versus Alabama, but Nick Saban's going to be looking for vengeance. It's all going to be on the shoulders of Joe Milton. If he's able to perform at a Heisman level, I'm taking Tennessee. But if he shows any sort of glimpses what he did like back at Michigan or back at early years at Tennessee before Hendon came in, it's going to be a wreck because he's their vet, he's their leader, he's their guy that they look to in the quarterback room. So if he's starting to, get inaccurate with his throws and just overthrow it, Tennessee's going to be a heap of trouble. Um, but I think he looked good last year in the Orange Bowl versus Clemson. So I think he's getting it figured out, getting his confidence, got his swagger back. Um, but I
But
think
do
they'll
you
just.
think do you think Hendon Hooker's better?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Okay.
we'll see. To be told. I mean, we haven't seen Milton play this year. Milton's definitely got the better physical attributes and more raw athleticism because he can throw the ball over 90 yards. As you can check out our TikTok, I made a video about it. But the dude has got a crazy arm. I think it's stronger than Mahomes and Allen for sure. Yes, everyone heard it right now. He has a stronger arm than both of them. But that doesn't mean he's going to be a great quarterback. I mean, he could fizzle out in the league like Jamarcus Russell. But he's got all of the physical attributes and characteristics to be a great quarterback if he gets drafted by the right team. But that's looking ahead of time. So we got to see what his senior season does at Tennessee. I've got them losing to Georgia and winning a close one in Alabama.
I got
But
hold on.
yeah,
Where does he go in the draft?
I say middle to late first.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on how well that Tennessee does.
That's true.
I feel like, and how well he does with the team. So we'll see. But he's got a lot of upside going into this year. A lot of people was buying into the hype early. So I mean, he's got some pressure to perform, and he's got that 5-star freshman behind his back, Nico. So if he doesn't play well early on, they may try to you know sit the bench for a little while. But I doubt it because that's Joe's team this year. But I mean, we could see crazier things happen. So, but I think that Georgia ultimately will lose in the semifinals of the college football playoff. I don't think they make it to the championship game.
Who they lose to?
USC,
USC.
yeah.
Who does USC play in the championship game?
Mm, Tennessee? No, I'm playing. I'm playing. I think USC will probably play. If I had to think about it, it'd probably be like Alabama or I don't think Ohio State's making it this year. They could with Marvin Harrison Jr. He's a really good receiver.
Very
Michigan,
good.
maybe.
Okay.
Um, we'll see. Blake Corum is a stud at running back, so I just ultimately think it's going to be hard, bro, for Georgia to three-peat. That's why I'm gonna say it's going to be 80% no, 20% yes, because it's going to be the odds are stacked against them. They're not in their favor.
I I think their team is just that good, man. I think Georgia is just that good. I just think they're just so much better.
I mean, dude, they've got the talent, so you can't. I mean, you can't win me over with that. I mean, I agree with you for sure. I
Got a
mean,
lot of talent.
they they reload every year. But like I said, it's extremely hard to even repeat as champs. So they've got their hands full. But Kirby Smart and them guys, they'll get the troops rallied and they'll be ready. So we will see. Everybody, that wraps up episode 5 of the podcast. So if you haven't already, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. Check out the TikTok, same handle, Thunder Sports Pod. It's JT Thunder.
And the stash, baby.
We out, baby. Yes, sir.
Woo!